wrong, and Dr. Navarro is going to talk to us more about that. Welcome into Weather Underground. I'm Alex Wilson. Mike Bettis is off. But boy, do we have a lineup tonight. We've got Tom Nizzle, we've got Dr. Erika Navarro, Dr. Greg Forbes. So we've got all your weather, seasons covered, basically.
Good point.
And then we've got Brandon right behind the bar, meteorologist, here to help gather your questions. So anything you've got, send it our way. Use the hashtag WUTV. So we've got winter, tropics, severe, and we've got to talk about plenty of severe weather. Dr. Forbes, we're going to check in with you in just a moment. But
Navarro, it's exactly the opposite, isn't it?
It's just really incredible how you can see one thing on one end of the country and see something completely different on the other side. And when we look at Florida right now, Florida has some very, very dry conditions. And if you look at where we were even just 3 months ago, you can see these yellow areas showing you that indication that we were heading towards a drought. It's been dry in Florida since last year. But now if we look at the drought monitor from last week, we now have 43% of the state that's under moderate drought and 33% that's under severe. And so the central and the southern part of Texas, I mean, just showing you, it's been so dry. There just has not been a lot of rainfall in this area. And this has contributed to a lot of fires going on in the area. So now these fire symbols here just showing you areas that are greater than 1,000 acres that have burned. And there's a total of 30 right now. So again, there's really just due to the lack of rainfall and also those dry conditions. And we are well below normal from where we usually are this time of year. You can see all these downward pointing triangles showing you we are in a deficit as far as rainfall goes. And again, because of this ridge that has been in place. And so you look at this drought monitor and you say, man, when is the rain going to come? But unfortunately, Alex, in the next 7 days, it doesn't look like we're going to get very much.
yeah, it's a tough go for that state. It seems like it's just going to get worse. But in the meantime, we've got science to talk about and experiments to do. Brandon really taking one for the team and getting your hands.
What is science if you're not getting your hands dirty? That's just how the best thing possible.
Heck yeah. Yep. Nice stuff, Brandon. Dr. Erika Navarro here with me now to talk about a newly named invest that we've been watching churning out in the Atlantic. Not going to be an issue really for land, but gets us thinking hurricane season.
Exactly. It's like it's right around the corner, right? I mean, this time of the year, we start kind of turning our focus out to the Atlantic because we do and can see these spin-ups happening. And so, like you said, Alex, this thing is way out to sea, so no real impacts to the coast, but it's still got some spin to it. You can see there a little bit of cloud activity. You could see even that spin going on, and winds are about 40 miles per hour, and that pressure is fairly low, down to 992 millibars.
Yeah, National Hurricane Center has been watching this. 30% chance of development. So, again, not a high chance of development, and the movement of this is away.
Exactly. And so this is going to be moving off to the south and west. So, again, some impacts here. It could be causing some wave activity out in the Atlantic. So that is really the case. But it looks like the NHC is giving this about a 30% chance of it turning into a subtropical system. There you go. My clicker wanted to not work with me here. But, Alex, so you can see on the water vapor, there's that area of spin. And this thing does have a little bit of convection to it. That's that thunderstorm activity that you see in the pinks. And there's even a little bit of blue there showing you those higher thunderstorm tops that are out. But again, you can see that this is way out to sea. So here's the Caribbean, Alex. There's the coast of the U.S. So this is well out into the Atlantic.
All right. So you mentioned the word, we're seeing it on the screen, subtropical. And so for people who might be joining us and just getting into the weather, they're going, all right, wait, I thought these were tropical storms. What's subtropical?
Exactly. And so a tropical system gets its energy from the warm water. And so right now, I just wanted to show you out in the Atlantic, the temperatures are around 68, 70 degrees. And now to get a hurricane, you need temperatures that are up into the 80s. You don't get a tropical system unless you have waters that are that warm. And so a tropical low gets its heat and its energy from what we call latent heat. That's that thunderstorm activity that helps to fuel the system. And these systems have to have that warm water underneath for it to form. But a subtropical system is a little bit of a hybrid between a tropical and what we get more in the wintertime with our mid-latitude systems. Those systems are fueled by a horizontal temperature gradient, that difference between cold and warm air at the surface. And they also get a little bit of heat from the ocean, but they're fundamentally different in their dynamics in the way that they form.
Very interesting. And so it just goes to show you that even though you've got those colder waters, if you've got that contrast between the air temperatures, you can still get a storm.
Exactly. And so this is not the first time that we've had an invest or an area that we've been looking at in May.
Right.
If you go back to 2003, we also had a system at that point that was Anna.
So we actually named one in April.
We did name one. So, I mean, if we did, it would be the first one since 2003. And again, it's not atypical that we see hurricanes this time of year. And you look in other parts of the world and you have hurricanes that form in the Pacific, in the Central, and even down near Australia. But if we look at the Atlantic, so these are now our storms names for 2017. So if we were to name one, it would start with Arlene.
All right, so we've got a lot to think about, as you mentioned, right around the corner. So we always say start preparing now, folks, because it'll be here before you know it. And also here before you know it, sounding off. So, Brian.
We got it.
Brian.
Sorry, you're okay.
I don't even know my own name by the end of the show, so that's how